Hey guys, what's up, and welcome to my Barbarian Assault Guide video. Let's start off with something really simple like the location. It is northeast of the Tree Gnome Stronghold, but there are a few ways to get there other than walking. So the first way would be the Barbarian Teleport, which requires the Lunar Spellbook, 75 Magic, 2 Astral Runes, 2 Law Runes, and 3 Fire Runes, or you can buy the Games Necklace, which costs about 2k. Now before you get started, you're going to need to talk to Captain Kane and take the tutorial. Now if you read the tutorial, this game is a lot easier than if you just breeze through it and click through it like a lot of you do. Now if you only need help with certain roles, I'm going to leave links in the description that allow you to skip ahead in the video, so please feel free to skip ahead if you only need help or need some strategies with certain things. Now it's time to either create or join a team. First of all, you're going to want 8 on, so you're able to join a team. Now, if you want to create a team, just grab a scroll from the table and use it on different people. Now, there are 2 team formats. Here's like the basic format. It's basically one of everything, except there are 2 healers. And then if you want to go with the pro or horn teams, it's 2 attackers and 1 everything else. The advantage of doing it with a pro team is you're going to gain points, or you're going to fill up your horn a lot faster, whereas there's more of a safety net with the basic teams. Now, the pro teams can go to 10, but it's kind of rare. I usually only do pro teams only because I hate doing it with level 1 people that don't know what they're doing. You can use the foreigns, but I just recommend using World 6 just because it's a lot easier. Alright, now I'm going to explain how this game works, and this is for every role, not just one. There's going to be an interface at the top right hand corner of the screen, and what it's going to indicate is what wave you're on, what you're supposed to do, what you're supposed to call, and who you're calling for. The most important thing for everyone to do is to do what they're told and call what they're supposed to call. Now, they have made an update to the point where it's very easy to tell what you're supposed to call, because every time it switches, it turns white. So, you look next to the lips. The lips are what tells you what to call. For example, if it says Style 2 next to the lips, right-click the horn in your inventory and click Style 2. And if by the ear it says green eggs, pick up green eggs. Do not pick up any other type of eggs or they will explode. Now you want to be very cautious because some of the eggs in the higher waves start to stack up, so make sure you right-click, don't just click on the eggs, because you lose points after a certain amount have exploded. So keep that in mind. Alright, this portion of the guide is just going to be of the strategies to get the points the fastest and quickest and most effective way, and I decided to start off with the defender because I think this role generates the largest amount of frustration, only due to the fact that most of the time runners are unresponsive to the food that you place on the ground, and it does get really annoying when they run halfway across the map to get the food that you placed like 10 minutes ago. So if you're one of those people who doesn't have a lot of patience, I recommend only defending on wave 10 because you will always receive 80 points regardless of how you perform. And it's not very difficult to get all the runners in one shot on wave 10. What you're going to do is you're going to stand on the trap after you have gotten the bait from the little slot machine like thing, and then you're going to just place the one bait. You're going to kill one of the runners, and then after you've killed one of the runners, what you're going to do is you're going to go back on the trap, and you're just going to stay there. You're not going to move at all, and you're just going to bait all of the ones that are left over to the trap, and hopefully you'll get a multi-kill and kill them all. And basically your job is done, except for when the queen comes out and you need to help make the omega egg. Now, the second role that I'm going to go over is the healer, because this is probably the second most difficult role because you are actually doing 2 things, not just one. Now, when you're the healer, do not pummel one healer or penance healer with poison food. What you want to do is you want to distribute the food, you maybe 2 or 3 to each one of the healers, and it will progressively kill them over time. But this only applies to like the higher waves. I mean, on waves like 1 through 3, it's very easily just to pummel all the healers with the poison food and kill them as quickly as possible. But overall, you do want to ensure that you are distributing the food amongst all the healers and not just concentrating on one, because over the course of the game, the healers will die from the poison regardless. So there's no point in you wasting all your poison food on one healer. Now the next role I'm going to get into is the attacker. The primary strategy I recommend using if you're the attacker is to kill the rangers first. That way, if you have, let's say, some newer people on your team and they need to safe spot or something, they can run all the way up to the cannon and they can just hide at the cannon and they don't have to worry about getting attacked, and the healer can get to them whenever they can get to them. So that's just one little tidbit. Other than that, the attacker is probably the easiest role to do. Now, the last and final role that I'm going to get to is the collector, because there's a few things that you want to do as a collector. The first thing is, if you are a collector, you want to load the hopper fairly consistently, especially if you have a kind of a noob defender, because for every runner they let by, you lose a certain amount of points. You do not lose any points if you kill the runner before they make it to the other side, so that is why I recommend using the cannon and loading it frequently. And on wave 10, if you are the collector, what you want to do is you want to hide out at the Horn of Glory, because you're not going to be of any use until the Queen comes out, and you're going to want to call for everyone on your team to alleviate a lot of frustration, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and sometimes people do forget to call, and this just alleviates frustration for everyone. Now, you can notice that you're actually able to level up your roles in Barbarian Assault. Every single role levels up to 5. Now, if you're a level 5 defender, your food is going to attract the runners from a longer distance, but I didn't really see a big difference when I became a level 5. So, yeah, it's supposed to, that's what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't. Now, if you're an attacker and as you're leveling up, the more higher level attacker you are, the more damage you're going to be able to inflict on the penance people. Now, if you're a healer, the more you're going to be able to heal. And now, if you've leveled up your collector, you're going to be able to use the converter, which means you can turn blue eggs into red eggs, or into green eggs, and then you can turn them into red eggs. And basically, the fail rate drops as you level up your collector. Now, those are just some of the rewards, but the most sought after reward is probably the fighter torso, and that's because of the popularity of PKing, and the attacker helm, just due to the fact that it's good for PVM. And a lot of people like to recolor their whips, and it's fairly cheap and affordable. It's only 50 points from any role, or your dark bow if you prefer. Alright, now to wrap up this video, I'm going to explain a quick little tidbit about the Queen. There's just a certain procedure that you need to perform to make 8 to 10 Omega eggs, and you need everyone to do this, and everyone can't be AFKing or anything. You can't solo the Queen, but this is just going to be a quick, very fast explanation of how to do the Queen. What you're going to want to do is have the collector collect 8 to 10 yellow eggs. That collector is then going to give them to the healer. The healer is going to dunk them in poison, and then they're going to give them to the attacker or attackers, and they're going to add spikes, and then the defender is going to dip them in lava. They are going to turn into Omega eggs, and then they're going to give them back to the collector. The collector is going to load them into the hopper, and then you're just going to, fire away at the Queen, and then she'll die, and you'll each get 80 points in your primary role, and then you will get 5 points in all of the additional roles. So if you like my guide, please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. This is going to be my last guide for a little while, only due to the fact that I am currently in college and school becomes before RuneScape and video making. So if you like the video, please don't forget to thumbs it up. If you don't like the video, please don't thumbs it down. Leave me a comment and saying how I can improve. And again, thanks for watching and taking time out of your day.